Welcome, PJ sir. Welcome to the first session of our new accelerator program. This is Punjab's flagship accelerator. Here, what we are trying to do is to build more startups like yours. Is to tell people that this is the kind of company we want here, and then to say that we are offering you the tools to be there.
Thanks a lot. It's always a pleasure and honor to come here. In fact, this place is full of that vibe. Every startup would need.
Thank you so much for saying that, sir. So let me ask you, you started your company, you were a first generation founder. I don't think there was any, you started off absolutely fresh. You built Tylenol 2 decades. It took you 2 decades to build it. Today we see startups wanting to build it overnight. But what was different when you started the company? What is different now? Can you talk about your journey for a minute, sir?
See, a few things I would say. First of all, that there was a lot of opportunity then, there's a lot of opportunity now. So that's a similarity. But then what I find is that now the ecosystem for startup is so developed. The government is helping,
yes,
right? There are lots of funds, there are lots of schemes where, the startups can not only get funds, but that is intelligent money. Why? Because funds come with a lot of knowledge and a lot of push from the government. So my time, all this was not available. And on top of it, it was rather a taboo, going into the business, because a businessman was looked upon as if he grows, he was looked as, oh bloody, a thief, right? But today the image is very different. Today we see a businessman as a guy who builds the nation. So I think it's a lot positive.
So now let me ask you about Punjab slightly. We have so much legacy. We have so much history. We produce such brilliant people. What is keeping us back from producing a million other companies, let's say 100 other companies, big companies in Punjab today, would be seen in other parts of the country? Why aren't they happening here? What do you think is the main reason, sir?
So I think Punjabis have a lot of entrepreneurial skills, will, and even the thought, right? So we do not lack there. So what I see is a lot of people trying to go into business, but then what they actually lack is the scaling up. What they actually lack is maybe they are getting satisfied too early, or they do not have the means to scale up, no knowledge, and even no role models around it. And the whole ecosystem actually needs to kind of pull their socks up. When I say that, sometimes I talk of a lot of alternative funding. What is alternative funding? Is private equity funding, where see, venture capital, all these angel investors is one thing, that is a new thing. But then the old legacy big companies are stagnating in Punjab. They have not grown beyond a certain size.
True.
But why? Because they did not go for private equity funding, IPOs, where they can bring unlimited money and that power of abundance, right? That psychology of abundance has not come after a certain scale they have built. So when we go south, as you're talking of, we see that these guys are flooded with foreign money, what we call as private equity funding, growth capital, which is actually the intelligent money, because not only they give us big funds, but they also give us a lot of talent. They come with a lot of systems, they come with a lot of growth pathways, a vision, a good goal for us. So this is where we don't even see a lot of role models. So I think it's just a matter of time. Once we have a few role models here, a lot of people will copy them. A lot of people will see that, yeah, yesterday this guy was sitting amongst us, now he is a billionaire. So Punjab lacks in the scale. We do not talk of billions, we still talk of crores. That's the whole issue. We have to change our language, our mindset, and the scale at which we think. I think that is what Punjab requires.
That's completely wonderful. So basically you're saying that just a mindset change if we do, and if we're able to develop some new role models, so people say, yeah, this is the way I want to grow my company, I get satisfied very, very easily. We'll be able to do a lot of change in the state, sir.
I would like to add also that we are not a very process-oriented community in North. So the point is, scaling can be done only when you are, having a strong foundation of processes, strong foundation of discipline, right? And you have a clear vision. Here we are, more entrepreneurial and more ad hoc basis working style. That is what has to change also.
So when you were building this factory, I was in ISB at that time, and I remember coming and asking, I think we were trying to do some hydroponic system in your thing back in the day, and I was talking about, he didn't know you at that time, and someone said, if you want to meet him, take a project report along. He will ask you for entire processes end to end, how this will happen, if it fails, what will happen. He is that process oriented. So I mean, you are actually living your words, right? You're actually putting down in your plants what you say.
Yes. So I tell you, just to give you, to highlight what we are. See, we have 239 processes in Thailand, correct?
Wow.
So which means so specifically, and there is a process owner for each process, and there is a complete document which entails all the steps to how to run it. So for us, training becomes so easy. Let's say there's a guy who has to start this process, move in, the other guy has left maybe or moved upwards. All you need to give is that document, and then the whole system remains intact. Coming, going of people does not matter to the company. Now this is what I call as the robustness of the process. So these are the things which make us think, now these things are settled. Now let us add on to one more thing to it, and that is how we keep on building brick by brick. But let's say if we do not have that robustness of the process, so we crumble every day and we build new walls every day. So that is what is happening. There's a lot of repair and maintenance going in companies where there are no robust processes. So I think it's a very simple science which South has maybe decoded better than the North.
And so that is another reason why, from what I understand, is a lot of these funds will not invest into companies where there is a key man risk. That if something happens to the Lalaji or the key person over there, then the whole company suddenly shuts down because no one knows what's going on. And you're actually correct that if there were these processes built in and there's some sort of sense behind how to grow the company, and people were more willing to kind of open up, I think it would be.
And Somit, let me tell you, at the bottom of this is only one framework. See, all these processes when we talk of in a company, they are built around a few frameworks. And one framework which I always talk about is the management framework, which becomes the foundation for every process. It's a thought of making the company absolutely structured. And imagine it only has 5 pillars. If we do it right, you can build a company with 10,000 people, company with 1 lakh people with ease. And imagine the whole 5-step process or 5-pillar process can be taught in less than 1 hour.
Wow.
So there are only few frameworks, and each framework has certain pillars. So that's the beauty of process-oriented approach. And I tell you, ISO 9001, which is the what we call as the mother of all systems, right? Given by ISO, talks of the same.
So again, we're taking away process orientation, we're taking away lots of role models are needed, and we need these people to build here so that other people look at you and build here. Because we are a very, I see you do it and I do it, rather than I hear you do it and I do it.
So what has happened in Punjab? So we have, these Mittals, Bharti Mittals and all. They are originally from Punjab. They are our role models, but then they moved out of Punjab. That's one. And second, that they suddenly became so big that we stopped looking them as our role models. We thought they are too big to be called as our role models, so we can't copy them, right? So we then had Munjals, they are from Punjab. So they could have been our role models. They again moved out of Punjab and they have grown so big. But then what is the commonality between all of them? The same. They built the processes. The route was the same. They went into alternative funding. They got their private equity funds, and then they eventually became. They went through their IPOs and all. So that's the route one should take. See, I say that 90% of all the companies, big companies in India, have gone through the same route. Why not Punjab?
That's absolutely wonderful, and I think if the secret sauce is here, so if this is the secret sauce, a lot of us can copy it. Sir, let me for the audience. I mean, first of all, let me. He's not well. He's got a bad throat. He's not only doing an hour session for us with our startups. He's also doing this. Thank you so much, sir. I'll ask you one last question.
Yeah, please.
If you had to bet on one sector in Punjab, just one sector, or what would it be over the next 10 years? What do you think that we can outperform on, or we should be outperforming on?
See, let's forget about those sectors where we have heavy equipment, heavy product lines, where the value addition is less. The rest everything Punjab should be good at. And we can talk of another thing where Punjab has a lot of raw material. So combining the two thoughts, I can say Punjab should be good in food technology. Punjab should be good in med technology. Punjab should be good in AI. Punjab should be good in information technology. So the items which, we are away from the port. So that's what I'm trying to address. Otherwise, I think Punjab is good for everything, anything. What we need to do first is stop the brain drain. Once we have all our people, I think we are much better in intelligence. We are much better in being, we are hardworking. So we are visionary. We have everything. So we stop the brain drain and focus on a few sectors. I think we can do wonders.
That's absolutely fantastic. And to end the session, I'll leave you guys with the statistic. I think this is the first year that we have sent, I think, less than 10% of our boys and girls abroad. Nearly everyone has stayed back, which is a fantastic kind of signal, for the state. We are very, very proud. This is the first year. Long way to go. But शुरुआत है ये we're going to live in our attitude of Chardi Kala, and hopefully we'll get there.
And one thing more.
Yes, sir.
See, our bureaucrats have to have the same energy that you carry. So that's another thing that will push Punjab positively.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for doing this for us. Thank you so much for doing this for Punjab, and thank you for being here.